cool. I know some people are a little bit iffy because they're like, Kenny Omega should be the biggest name there. But again, you don't want to just throw everything at it on your first go. So Chris Jericho going over is somebody that everybody kind of knows, mainstream. And then you're going up against Hangman Page, who, you know, to the independents, everybody knows him, but to the sort of casual fan from WWE, maybe they don't know this guy. Looks good, he's a good-looking kid and all the rest of it, but we don't know enough about him. But makes perfect sense to have this match on paper, Matt. How excited are you for their first title match? And probably quite important that this goes off pretty well, I'd imagine, for the first bout contest.
Oh yeah, hugely excited for that match and the pay-per-view as a whole. I mean, they've always said this is the big one, you know, the one that this has all been building towards, and the previous pay-per-views have been amazing. And if they're saying, you know, that's just a stop along the road to this pay-per-view, this is going to be incredible. And I think they've done a tremendous job of building the hype for this. So really looking forward to that. Jericho, of course. Who wouldn't you trust to actually pull off something like this? Yeah. He is the guy. You know, he's been great on the mic and building it up and talking. The way he talks about Paige as well is he's been building Paige as a superstar more than probably Paige has been building himself as a superstar in this feud. That is. So yeah, he's the perfect opponent for him, and I feel like the athleticism that Paige will bring to the match will be great, but also, you know, just that kind of experience that Jericho is going to bring into this. I think the entertainment level is going to be off the charts. Yeah,
I'm totally with you there. I'm very excited for that match, and hopefully both guys go out and give it their all. Who do you think goes over? Who's going to be crowned their first champion, man? Do you go with the experienced Chris Jericho, or do you go straight in to building a new star right off the bat and in Hangman Page?
This is
you got to play Booker.
Very difficult. I feel like the first ever champ is a big, huge deal, isn't it? Really. For me, I'd go Page, but then, you know, I'd have a rematch and give it to Jericho straight after.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. I think it's like win-win in this situation. I kind of I know most people will go, you should always have the younger guy because they should give the rub to him. But I kind of feel like you could still have a great match and still have Hangman Page coming out of this pretty well. Like, he just come up short against someone like Chris Jericho. Depends how, because you can't imagine that match being like 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a long, thought-out match. So I don't know. I think you could have Jericho winning this and you get him on TV as your heel champion. Because, like, it depends. Because a lot of old school companies like the NWA, they used to love the heels being... The WWE were opposite. They like baby faces with their belts, like Bruno Sammartino. But back in the day, Ric Flair's and, you know, Buddy Rogers and all those guys, they were heels and people paid for that. And I just got a feeling with Cody and Tony Khan, they're a bit of old school fans. I think they'll go Jericho myself. I just think we're going to have that heel to start off the run. But we'll see. And what a tag team match we've got here, Matt. Like, I'd pay this alone. I'd pay the fee to watch this ladder match. I mean, arguably, I'm not going to say even arguably. I'd probably say at the moment, in this day and age of tag teams, and there are good tag teams, and Revival are good, but come on, they haven't been able to do their best stuff in WWE for a while now. You know, I would say that the match we're getting here probably are two of the best, easily, hands down, of guys that are actually been together, you know, young bucks. There are a few exceptions still out there, I'm not going to deny it, but I think in the limelight as it is, this is a dream match, and actually I can't imagine what these guys are going to put themselves through on this one, because there's so many risks. The Lucha Brothers, like, it's just going to be crazy and off the chain. But what are you expecting in this one, Matt? Because this is, like, for me, this could be the main event as well. That's how good this is, and it's amazing to see tag team taken seriously again.
It's definitely main event caliber, and this is what we're saying, why the anticipation for this whole pay-per-view is so big. And it's easy to believe in these days that you've seen everything you can see in a ladder match because there's been so many of them now. But if anyone is going to innovate or show you something you have not seen before, it's these guys. And I feel like that's what we're going to get. I feel there's going to be so many oh my god moments in this. So if you're that kind of person that likes a gimmick match and you like a little bit of extra violence in your matches, I think that this is the one for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the other match that is obviously been building now since Double or Nothing, it was Jon Moxley's debut match, and of course he's been doing New Japan and other stuff. I like the fact that he's been like talking so more legitimate about, he wanted to go to Japan to learn all about what Kenny Omega was learning, and I just like it a little bit more when they talk about what's going to happen in the match as opposed to I hate you and you hate, it's like, come on, I'm bored of this. So I'm glad they're actually like bringing that into this. But Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, like, this is another dream match here, Matt, to get them straight off the bat. You throw this one in. This is the names, I guess. This is the match where both names are coming together. Obviously, Jon Moxley's got a lot to prove, I think, in terms of the style in ring. I think he wants to do that a bit more. He wants to show he can do more creatively. But Kenny Omega, amazing matches. I think, for me, Kenny Omega's got to have an amazing match on US soil. I think that's his next best goal, big goal to have. We've seen these great matches in Japan, but now can he do it on US soil to sort of cement his name? What are you anticipating in this one, Matt?
I feel like this is going to be a very interesting match. Of course, Dean Ambrose. Oh, no, don't say it. Don't say it.
Back to you, Cole.
Jon Moxley has had a great run in Japan.
Yeah.
He's been there and he's been picking up surprising wins.
Yeah.
So they're definitely treating him like a top guy. And to come now and fight Kenny, that's huge. And we don't have anything to draw upon because the company's still new and fresh. We don't know who's going to get the bigger rub and who's going to get the bigger push. We get this a lot in WWE where we can see who is the favourite in a match, but not this one. So I'll be very interested to see the direction that they go. I kind of believe that Kenny should get a win if they're going to say that he is one of their top draws. He's had his loss already now, so he needs a win back. Otherwise, where they're going to go with him? Otherwise, they'll have to start telling a new story about how he's got to redeem himself and how he's not as good as he was in Japan. Yeah, no,
it's going to be fascinating to see. I'm glad that they kept talking about the loss he had as well, and he had to get on a little bit of a streak. So hopefully that's going to put him, because he is going to be the big name there, I think, in the long term. But I just think for the US fans, the casual fans, there's still a lot of people that don't know enough about him. But I think this is going to really do the trick. And of course, Cody Rhodes up against Spears should be interesting, Matt. It's kind of cool that Cody Rhodes isn't just booking himself in the main events just yet. And he's actually this is a match where I feel like he's going to do more help for Shawn Spears to get started than it is him. But it's cool. I mean, I like the way they're doing it. I like the angle, the seriousness of it. Some of the interviews I was listening to last week with MJF was, kept talking about the chair shot and how disrespectful. Those things in WWE get lost quite quickly, but here they keep talking about that moment. And I know it's because they haven't got shows in between, but it really does make it more predominant of what's happened here, and it's really easy to follow. I like this style, but yeah, another good match to add there, Matt. Nonetheless, those two guys.
Yeah, and I was not a fan of that chair shot, but it just goes to show that all publicity is good publicity, because that's going to stick in my mind for a long time, actually. Yeah. And they didn't really need to do much else after that, because of course you're going to want some revenge on the guy after he split your head open and like that. So whether you call it lazy storytelling or genius, it's definitely done the job. And that's another match I'm looking forward to.
I have a quick question. Now we have guys in the elite, as they call it. Are they? A lot of our listeners are we're getting confused, who's heel and who's not. Are they just their own thing?
Yeah, I guess.
Because there isn't because you've got MJF in there, but then you've got Cody, and then everyone knows Cody's running the thing. You've got Kenny's in there. But it's pretty much just their own thing. I don't think that there is too much of a blatant heel and a blatant. No. Do you know what I mean?
I think everyone is hung up on what was before, where everything was black and white. And I think sometimes it's cooler just to be that shade of grey.
Yeah. I was going to say I like
it's
that.
like in the WWE when we all knew, that Shawn Michaels, Triple H, all them were friends, and that was their special bond. And it's probably in a similar vein to that. And we know these guys are tight, and that's their sort of group.
Yeah.
And they could be part of other factions, but we all know it boils down to them being the ones. I don't want to say pulling the strings, but they definitely have. They have a lot of power.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can't wait for that event to happen. It's going to be a big day. Obviously, 4 big shows now going on for us anyway at WrestleLine. Okay, finally, just to wrap up before we go to the interview here with Dropkick's commissioner Lucus Jackson, that's going to be with us, joining us very, very shortly. Just want to quickly talk about another show I'm going to be at. Now, Matt is going to be away for this one. How dare he? He's going to be in Tampa, Florida, of all places. Not too bad.
Someone's
not
got to
too
do
bad.
it.
And I think hopefully you're going to scout while you're over there. How long are you actually in Tampa for? Like, how long have you got there before you go on your cruise?
I've got 4 nights in Tampa.
So not bad. So you're going to be able to see a little bit.
Maybe have to pop down to Hogan's Beach Shop.
Yeah.
See what that's about.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. But be cool, because if you can come back and share anything that fans are going to be able to do when they get there, any little tips, I'm sure we can share that on the podcast for next year for WrestleMania 36. So, yeah, Matt is away when Progress actually have 2 shows going on there. They're in the night before on Saturday. They're doing Natural Progression Tournament. And we've got 2 guys, by the way, coming on very soon to the podcast to talk about that tournament as well. Of course, the day after is obviously Progress Wrestling, and it's chapter 95 is that one. And they are, of course, this time, when we were there last time, it was Super Strong Style 16. Now, the winner of that, David Starr, Mr. Independent, as he calls himself, is now cashing in that win that he got. David versus Goliath, that's always the title between these 2 guys, up against Walter. And I, couldn't get 2 more different outlooks against each other. Should be a really good, fascinating match. But obviously, a few weeks ago on the show, everyone was crying out about, Jim Smallland's gone. It's not going to be the same again. WWE are not going to let them use their guys. They're not going to be able to use it on Stream TV. Since then, from an inside person, can't name him, but has given us a bit of knowledge that there was a big meeting in Toronto between both parties of WWE and Progression, no doubt Progress Wrestling. And since then we've had some announcements. Matt, first of all, Pete Dunne is going to show up there. We don't know quite what he's doing, if he's even involved in anything, but he's going to be there and seen because he's been advertised. Not only that, we've then got an announcement that the NXT, Matt Riddle and Keith Lee are going to be up against them. Of course, our British-owned NXT UK Moustache Mountain are also going to be there. So, tag team match. You couldn't get any more WWE guys in than that. So, is that pretty much... Do you think there's a worked agreement there, Matt, regardless of the rumour that was coming out about they're not letting those guys be there on stream? Do you think Progress have worked something out on the exit of their owner and founder at the time, since as he's going to be their new booker?
I would really hope so. I feel like Progress have done a lot for WWE.
Yeah.
You see all the NXT UK guys and how much of that talent they have on that roster has actually come from Progress. It's undeniable that it's heavily influenced by Progress, and I would love to see it cut both ways and WWE give back to them a little bit, because they've done tremendously well out of this agreement before WWE. And to the point now as well, where when we look forward to the title match with Walter and David Starr, I really hope that David can sort of get that belt and just show that Progress is its own thing and that its own champions can exist there. It doesn't have to rely on the WWE influence.
Yeah, because it's funny because they use all the WWE music, like their entrances. They stay in pretty much the characters that they are there. So I don't know. I think it's for me, I like Jim Smallman going to NXT UK makes perfect sense as a booker, because if you look at how that guy has promoted events, Matt, I think NXT UK are missing some ingredients to maybe that input in the back, and I think he's a perfect person to go and do that job. I think that's a really smart move on WWE's part. But what you don't want to see is they just take every last drop from them and give them back nothing. Like, Progress isn't a weekly concept, it's monthly, and it's been around, and I don't see why you can't have both, you know what I mean? Like, without disrespecting either. You've got Walter there that's both champion. It looks good for both companies when he's that. Like, I don't get why you have to sort of not say one or the other. Like, I'm sure in Progress they mention NXT UK a lot. I don't know how much of that they mention in NXT UK or Progress, but we know it works the other way. So publicity all round. I mean, I think it's different if